What's up, everyone? I'm Ryan from Fireside Yankees, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about a report from The Athletic. Peter Gammons was reporting that Luis Castillo was a target for the Yankees and that Brian Cashman is willing to go all in to get a guy like Luis Castillo at the deadline. They cited that the Reds are very interested in Yankee prospects. One of the guys mentioned was Will Warren, specifically because the Reds are looking for the next Clay Holmes or Michael King. And I put quotation marks because obviously they're not looking for Clay Holmes or Michael King. They're looking to get someone who can progress similarly to them, either as a starter or a reliever. They're just looking for that high ceiling arm. Will Warren from the Yankees farm system was listed as one of those guys. He's currently in Double-A. He started out in high A ball, was drafted last year in the 8th round of 2021. Was a first-round talent, people said, but he needed to go either spend another year developing, or they didn't really think he was ready. And the Yankees were able to develop him, build up his frame, build up some muscle on him. He's throwing way harder, pitching very good this year, and the Reds are very interested in him. It's interesting to see that the Yankees are in on Luis Castillo, not because Luis Castillo isn't great, because I think he's a pretty good pitcher, but because of the fact that the rotation has been so good. But again, this kind of signals that Cashman is willing to go all in to upgrade this team, because this is the team. And by saying the team, I mean, like, this is the team that everything has clicked, everything has gelled, the roster moves, the players on the roster. This is everything the Yankee organization thought they could get when they put this team together. And they think a guy like Luis Castillo can be that number 2 guy right behind Garrett Cole, be that second ace that this staff could just, I can't even imagine what this pitching staff will look like with Luis Castillo. With that being said, though, Castillo has struggled a bit since his 2020 season. He hasn't been as dominant. If you look at his numbers between 2021 and 2022, he has a 3.92 ERA, a 4 skill interactive ERA. His strikeout to walk percentage is 14.6%. Still has a really high ground ball rate at 55.1%. His FIP is at 3.69. His expected FIP's at 3.65. So it's really difficult to gauge how good he is for a multitude of reasons. Number one, we don't know if he was affected by the sticky stuff ban, because again, it's not like his stuff is significantly worse. His stuff is still really, really good. He relied heavily on his changeup, which is more of a screwball, but again, we're going to label it as a changeup. His sinker, his four-seam fastball, and a gyro slider. And when I say gyro slider, I want to mention that to differentiate from other Yankees sliders we've seen this year, like Clay Holmes or Michael King's, where theirs has more sweep to it. So think of a sweeping slider like, a slurve or a sweep, like a curving slider, where it has that sweeping effect to it. And a gyro slider has more of that up-down, late cutting movement to it. And when it comes to Luis Castillo, his slider, changeup, sinker combination has been his bread and butter for a while. He started using his four-seam fastball a lot less after 2020, excuse me. And I don't know if that's because of the fact he felt less confident with it after 2020, or if it's because he just feels better with his sinker. But that was a very important pitch for him to get swings and misses, and he stopped throwing it. So, again, it's a little bit concerning to see that the strikeout numbers are down for Castillo. But again, I do still think he's a phenomenal pitcher, and potentially he could get better in New York. We've seen Matt Blake, we've seen Sam Breen, and how they've worked with minor league guys, major league guys to make these guys significantly better pitchers. Castillo's velocity is down from 2021 and 2022, which is also concerning. But again, we've seen it with these guys, with Matt Blake. They can take guys and make them so much better. And the Cincinnati Reds haven't been as great with their pitching development over the last year and a half. Really, it feels like they relied heavily on foreign substances to make their pitching staff better, and they're not that great at developing starting pitching. And so potentially going to the Yankees could help him a lot. And the only question mark here is, are you willing to give up a lot of assets to get a guy who probably has to improve from what he's been over the last year and a half in order to justify making him a number 2 in this rotation? I don't know. I don't know if that price tag makes sense. I don't know if the Yankees are going to go out and get Luis Castillo when they need potentially an outfielder. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa struggled, whether you like the contact skills or not. There's no way to avoid the fact that he has average defensive numbers, if not below average defensive numbers, if you look at OAA. Or the fact is a sub 90 OPS plus, right? Like, those are concerning things at your shortstop position, potentially looking to upgrade there. The bullpen definitely could use another arm in there. And if you're going to go get a starting pitcher, why not go get Frankie Montas? He was also listed in that report. And in that report, those will detail that the Rangers, Cubs, Athletics, and Reds all sent scouts to Yankee minor league games. So it's not like Luis Castillo's the only option for the Yankees. I'd argue Frankie Montas is a much better option. And again, I'm not really going to be upset if they trade for Luis Castillo. Whatever Brian Cashman and the pitching development think is the right move for the Yankees, they will make that move, and I will trust that they can make the right move. All I'm saying is that Luis Castillo may not be the difference maker. And if the Yankees don't go out and be that aggressive at the deadline as we close in towards the deadline, you really shouldn't put it on the fact that the Yankees don't care enough as much as it is Luis Castillo's gotten worse since 2020. So that's a little bit of a concern. But again, look, the Yankees are such a smart organization when it comes to pitching. They're so good at developing that type of talent that you don't really have to. You don't have to think. You have to think too hard to realize why the Yankees would want a guy who throws 96 miles per hour with a frisbee changeup and a nice slider. Like it's really not hard to imagine why they would want that on their team. But with that being said, let me know what you guys think about Luis Castillo. I am a fan of acquiring him. Again, I would like to see what the price tag is, and I would love to see if the Yankees explore trying to get Frankie Montas instead, or if they just ride with their 5-man rotation, go get an outfielder, a shortstop, or a bullpen piece. Who knows? This is going to be an interesting deadline because, if the Yankees are willing to go on and try to trade for Luis Castillo, you have to believe they're going to be aggressive. And so, again, really excited to see what they do at the deadline, see what they do going forward, and let's go Yankees. You guys know to check us out at Fireside Yankees at Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. You guys know to check out our YouTube channel. Of course, we have tons of content coming out every single day, post-game shows, pre-series recaps or previews, recaps on games, analysis, day-to-day news, all that stuff. You guys know to check out Empire Sports Media for all your New York sports content. We got great stuff over there as well. And thank you guys so much for your continued support. We've grown like crazy as of late, and that's because of you guys. We'll see you guys in the next video. Ryan out.